That
That
spicy
turmeric
life.
and that
Spice up my
turmeric.
life.
That spice.
Trying to get this thing before it hit.
I feel that. He said, I'm trying to spice up my life. Trying to spice it up. Well, I'll tell you what, bro. Ooh, we got some spicy topics tonight. Ooh, I can't wait. We got banger after banger after banger, man. Get a drink, fill it up, get some popcorn. Man, it's going to be a hell of a night on Gambling Nights, episode 29. Let's go. Oh, he don't like the close up. He be like, yo, damn, why you zoom up my joint? You get a cut? You got a cut though. You good. You got a cut though. You good. You good. All right, so you all right.
Down a little bit.
Yeah, I got to trim my joint down a little bit too myself. Welcome everybody to another night of the best live late night talk show out here called Gambling Nights. I am the host. They call me Moss Money. Of course, and I got my guy, my bro, my brother, my homie, my man. Be humble. What's up, bro?
We here, man. Christmas is around the corner.
It don't even feel like it, right?
Dawn is coming so fast. So I'm just happy that, holidays is here. Time
you
to
got
be
off
married.
next week?
I'm off, man, to the end of the year. Yeah. I mean, obviously basketball still is going on, so.
But you off now to the end of the year.
Correct.
Oh wow. That's
the last day was Monday was my first day off today.
Oh damn. You've been chilling, huh?
Not chilling because I ref, so me being on
the
court is midday, mid-evening. That kind of takes my time, which is cool. It's cool to me.
You get to the tables yet?
I was there. Like yeah, I've been playing some PLO when I get a chance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, up and down.
Yeah. I'm gonna get back into it, man. Daddy daycare, so gotta.
Yeah, you probably a little ways away from being on the table. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm dreaming.
Doing a spirit.
I'm dreaming. Yeah, right. I'm dreaming. But all right, everybody. This is Gambling Nights, where we talk about late night gambling stories and anything happening in sports as we see it. And man, there's a lot of stuff happening in sports right now. Doing a little bit different too tonight. I got videos that we're going to post and we're going to watch and listen to that I have not listened to yet. I know they're out there, kind of solid. So all the reactions are going to be raw, uncut. We got some pictures and stuff to go around with all the drama and graphics in terms of the topics that we're talking about. Okay. So let's get right to and what's the topic of the week, really. The back and forth between Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Clark. They've been going back and forth. Clark said this. I think Rodgers finally responded to Pat McAfee. Ryan Clark has something about McAfee. And really, at the end of the day, Ryan Clark just really feels like Aaron Rodgers is a bitch. And he's a hypocrite. You know what I mean? And
we've said that.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's a little bit of proof in the pudding. But let's hear from the fellas themselves talking about what the hell is going on between them two. Let's go with Rodgers. Let's go with Rodgers respond. And then I think this is Ryan Clark's response to what Aaron Rodgers said on the Pat McAfee show today. Or was it yesterday? It was Tuesday. He comes on Tuesdays. All right, let's check it out.
Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, shit.
I just got a PSA. Just
okay.
A quick PSA.
All right. I thought we were.
Just a quick PSA reminder.
Started with 12, count down to 1.
Yeah. Well, we're about to get there.
12, got down to 1.
That's how you crown CFP National Champion. Is that the PSA? That's a good PSA. It's a catchy jingle.
PSA is this. I know I got to say this multiple times for people because they don't listen, but say whatever the fuck you want about me. I don't care. But just before you do it, whether you state your name, your accolades, pronouns, whatever it is, just state your vax status so that anything you say afterwards gets put in the right light. Just get it out there. Because then when you say things about me, people can at least be like, oh, you are captured by the multi-billion-dollar propaganda psyop, and you're still upset about it.
Okay.
This will help things out.
Yeah, this is good. This will settle it all down. I appreciate that. And
Hey, you know what I mean? Just put that just so everybody knows where you're coming from. Everybody knows, okay, cool. You're twice vax Moderna with 3 booster shots. And then boom, boom, boom. Say what you want to say. Whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying a PSA. Just please help everybody out who's wondering, where is this coming from? Including myself. What the fuck is this coming from? But just give a little PSA. You do a little bit of digging, then you know where it's all coming from, right? You're captured, you're highly vaccinated, and then say whatever the hell you want to say about me, because I couldn't give 2 shits about it. All I care about is that you put that little disclaimer out there. Just like it's in the bottom for me, that I'm a champ, MVP, and I am enthusiastic about ayahuasca. Just put, instead of your accolades that you need to have out there, so desperately, just put your vax status as well, because you cared so much about it, during the COVID years.
all right.
So just put it out there on your bio when you're about on your shows or whatever. You don't just need a brooch with your initials.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Put your vax status on there too.
Okay. All right.
All right. I don't know what those shots were. Kind of, I understand what he's trying to say, but then kind of falls kind of short. I don't get it. But let's see what Ryan Clark said. I haven't listened to this.
So it was a little bit before this, right? So it got to be something before this. Because I think
this
Aaron
was
Rodgers
yesterday,
stated,
right? Yeah, this is 12. The clock.
But
is
this goes
12,
back to
17.
last week.
Yeah, there was a lot more, but I don't think he's ever responded. I don't think Rodgers has really said anything until now.
But what was that? How was that responding to what Ryan said? Ryan pretty much called him whatever he called him at that time in response to what Aaron Rodgers was giving subliminals. Rodgers was giving subliminals about prior athletes now on ESPNs or major networks talking shit, and they don't have his accolades or blah 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 blah. And then they all like, well, who they talking to? Like, who they talking about? And it sounded like Ryan took it a little bit personal, and he kind of came right at Aaron Rodgers. But if this is your response to that, so you're saying what? You're a smarter person than him because Ryan took a vaccination versus you. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. But this was yesterday. This is the latest response, right? This is yesterday.
Okay.
So this is the latest response from Aaron Rodgers. So
Gotcha.
like you said, there was some filler earlier, right? Some context in the beginning of the conversation for sure, them going back and forth. But this is the latest response from Aaron Rodgers. So I haven't seen it. I don't really get the response. I guess your vaccination, so you're really not that smart, or like you're a follower. I guess I don't know what because there's so many conspiracy theories about the vaccination. All right, well let's see what Ryan Clark had to say.
Here is why I called Aaron Rodgers, or why I called you a hypocrite, because you're actually on ESPN talking about my fellow colleagues and the people I work with, saying that now, because they are former players and weren't as great as players of you as you were, you feel like, or they feel like they're the stars. And that's not it. TV has changed. It's more about opinion and the informed opinion of people who have played the game. What's hypocritical about what you said is you said it while on TV with Pat McAfee, who has done an amazing job with this platform. And even though he was an all-pro punter, he's now extremely famous and more well-known for what he does in his post-career. Even more hypocritical of you is that you're sitting across from 3 people who have never played the game. And they are also entitled to talk about football in a very informed way, because if we've learned anything from Mina Kimes, you don't actually have to step on the field to be excellent at the job of analyzing football. And I spoke to that hypocrisy because you were getting paid to do that, which Pat said you deserve to. And that is why you received the money that you did, at least initially, because of what you brought to his platform. Now, let me be clear, because I know you want us to list these things. My name is Ryan Clark. Played 13 years in the NFL, been to 2 Super Bowls. I have as many rings as you do. I was the captain of 2 separate football teams. I'm also an Emmy winner. I'm also the co-host, owner, and partner of an Emmy-nominated podcast called The Pivot. Now, I know something else you were very interested in was my vaccination status. And yes, I'm vaxxed because I have no spleen, I have no gallbladder,
Right.
because of playing in Denver and being willing to go back, honestly, and play again. Because I've been in those locker rooms, and I've talked to people that have been in the locker rooms with you. I have the stories. I have all the things that they said that informed my opinion of who you are. And as far as your vaccination status, so you can stop trying to trick people into thinking that we want to talk about that above the stink of your film, I've never heard it one more time after your incident. And the only reason we spoke about it then was because based on your vaccination status, it was going to determine how long you were out. And also, people didn't care that you weren't vaccinated. They cared that you were slimy about it. They cared that you were deceitful about it. And they cared that you had this air of arrogance when answering the questions about it. And you've kind of only been the only person that's talked about it since. But let me be very, very clear. My job is to analyze you. You've decided to analyze me. And in analyzing you, what I know is your QBR is 21st. Also know that you're the quarterback of a 4-10 team who has to win the last 3 games of the season to even be equal to what last year's team was without you. Now, I get it. You get on the show and you talk about my brooch and you curse and all this tough talk. I just need you to know, don't none of that scare me. I'm gonna do my job the way I'm supposed to do it. I feel no way about not being able to talk about what the film says because of what my career was. And if you continue to be arrogant or smug or hypocritical and it pertains to my job, I'm gonna do it. And I wanna remind you again, I'm Ryan Clark. 13 years, Emmy winner, host of an Emmy-nominated podcast. And speaking of that jealousy and guest stuff, The Rock, Kevin Hart, Mike Tomlin, Devontae Adams, Joe Burrow, Shaq, just to name a few. No money, just relationships, conversations, and respect. It's what I tried to give you. And we'll keep it that way as long as you want it like that. Appreciate you.
Right? You need to scratch your head on that, John. Like, okay, Ryan, a little long-winded, but well worth it in complete control. And way he responded. Love his response, actually. I guess you see where the vax part comes from, or what Aaron was trying to say. I guess I still don't get it really.
That's just talking, not knowing your research, and you should know. We all knew. We all know Ryan has issues. We all know Ryan almost lost his life in Denver.
Right.
What you talking about getting vaxxed? You thought he wasn't going to get vaxxed? His life, he doesn't have a spleen like the man said. Like, I can't fuck around.
Yeah.
Like, what we're talking about? That's another thing about I'm saying this in a term of a person being so arrogant is Aaron Rodgers not being able to understand anybody else but himself. And that's a perfect example of that. And that, once again, that's why, like you said, you're a quarterback with a 21 QBR or whatever he said, and a losing team that has 4 wins. I was better off with Zach Wilson. Imagine that.
That's the crap. I forgot about that.
Better off with Zach Wilson
than they are with you and Devontae Adams.
You ain't got your head coach fired, your offensive coordinator fired, the GM fired. Damn near everybody got fired. A cancer.
He is a cancer.
And I think that was the funniest part about the whole thing with what Aaron Rodgers talking about, ESPN analysts and personalities, is that, bro, you're on ESPN right now, and the man that's got you on this show every Wednesday is the person you're talking about. Like, yeah, we knew Pat McAfee from his little bit of antics as a punter, and then an onside kick, and him being, kind of funny on the field. But we
Yeah.
ain't know Pat McAfee really until he started this podcast shit.
Until he started
And
the
now,
podcast.
and
yeah.
now he's on ESPN. So anybody you disrespecting is the man that you sharing the platform with on his platform that you getting paid to do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
Getting
it.
paid to do. Yeah.
If that's not hypocritical, you are who they are.
Yeah.
So, in other words, listen, Aaron going. I guess is why he by himself. That's why he's a lonely person. I guess he got all the money in the world. God bless him.
Yeah.
And he can go and share that money in that dark room that he likes to go to during the off seasons. But
Can't see what you can't count.
Can't buy happiness. But he seems like he's happy. He's smiling. Beard look like it's trimmed. So I guess he's doing all right. But
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's really interesting because back and forth, because it's not men talking. It's men talking through cameras. It's men talking through podcasts, right? It's almost like soap opera that we're watching through a podcast.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got to have to respond. And not even that. He does this. And like you said, there's a lot of eyes, right? A lot of people watch Pat McAfee. A lot of people watch The Pivot. A lot of people watch ESPN. But the one thing I've seen from Ryan Clark is that he's going to be authentically himself wherever he goes. It doesn't matter wherever he's at and wherever he goes, and he's going to be like that. And I guess you could say that kind of a little bit about Rodgers, a little bit, kind of slimy a little bit, but he's going to be Aaron Rodgers wherever he's at. You know what I mean? Arrogant, slimy, doesn't say the, things correctly, but you don't know. I mean, maybe we find something about this Netflix special, right? Maybe we find something more about the man.
No, I promise you not. I promise you not. You're gonna find more. You're gonna be more sure about what you think about him is gonna be in this podcast.
I believe it.
This is really what it is.
Well, we did drop that word cancer not too long ago, and more of a bittersweet story is Randy Moss announcing about his battle with cancer. And I think they're starting a slogan, "Let's Moss Cancer." Like the slogan. Let's listen to the actual. I haven't even watched this yet. I don't know if you've seen it, but him actually doing the announcement of his surgery and his fight with cancer, the cancer that he has. I think he's in remission. I think he beat it already, and he's on the road to recovery. But let's take a listen to what Randy Moss had to say about his announcement about having cancer.
Well, I don't even know who's on here, and I appreciate everybody coming on. And y'all know I've told y'all over the last couple of weeks about me battling something internally, and your boy is a cancer survivor. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a few minutes, but I just want to give a shout out to a lot of people that really helped me pull through this. Been in the hospital for 6 days. I just got out today. Thank God. So first and foremost, I'd like just to thank God for really just blessing me and my family through this trying time, and me being able to come out of this surgery and fight and battling cancer. So my doctors, Dr. Lingo, Dr. Zamar, Dr. Shalindra, Dr. Rizza, Dr. Martini. That's my doctors. The best that Charlotte has to offer, man. I appreciate it. Some of the best around the whole country, not just in the city of Charlotte. The CAMC 11th Tower. Boy, did I have fun with you guys for this whole week. I had my sons in there. I had a lot of family in there, but everybody came through.
I'll tell you what, I forgot how country he is.
Yeah, West Virginia boy.
That boy is so country. But just a really, I think, a feel-good story and a reminder, especially for us Black men, about taking care of our health, making sure we get our checks and things like that. I'm hoping and assuming that he was able to beat this, not because of the supreme athlete he is, but he was getting his routine checks. He was going in there, they saw something, maybe he even reported some pain or something like that, and they were able to take care of Randy Moss. So that's good to hear. happy to hear. All-time great, obviously. Just went into the Hall of Fame. So, that's like my 8th cousin on my mom's side. So, want to shout out, the homie Randy Moss. It's funny, man. My son, they play a game called Moss. And I'm like, do you even know who that is? Yeah, Randy Moss. You ever see him play? Like it's old timers to them. You know what I mean? But they play a game like called Moss. They just go out there and throw the ball up, and he's like, "Oh, Moss." It's just funny to hear the name. With your son playing it. But I thought that was at least a good Phil story. Kind of shook up some things. I know there was some back and forth between Randy Moss's son. I think Larry Fitzgerald's son had a little back and forth because Larry Fitzgerald's son kind of broke it before Randy could a little bit. I'm not sure what cancer he has. Do you know? I'm not sure.
I think it's something of the liver, obviously. I think that was one of the issues. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything that I'm not sure of, but I want to say it's something to do with the liver.
The liver? Okay. Yeah, so, hopefully, obviously a speedy recovery to one of the greatest to ever do it, Randy Moss. And make sure, men, you out there watching, especially black men, get checked when you need to get checked. Go to the doctors, do all the right stuff, work out, be dangerous, go do some martial arts or boxing, whatever. Take care of yourself because can't beat the clock, man. And you never know.
Yeah.
Never know when never know when that time is, is you.
No matter how much money you got, no matter what you think who you are, again, it could be great one day and it could be a total different page the next. So
that shit is just that shit is wild. You know what I mean? To even think about having that, that cancer conversation, but that shit is real.
It's real.
What did you just say? Did you just say good one day and not good the next?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Is that what you said? Oh, man, you be segues.
Another oop for you.
Yeah, you already know. You know what I mean? I would say, what was it like? More like Shaq and Penny, I guess. You know what I mean? I even update the content like I should because I got a star. You know what I mean? Who that?
Look like Penix to me in 13.
Is that Penix and Cousins? Penix and Cousins? That's what it looked like. Good one day, not good the next.
Any given Sunday.
Penix in 180 million goes to the bench.
Crazy.
Oh man, Atlanta is pulling the trigger and giving Michael Penix the start, man. What do you think about this story right now, where they are? Atlanta just won, even though Cousins didn't do good. I think, if I'm not mistaken, his numbers are something around, they were 1-4 in their last 5. He has, I think, 1 touchdowns and maybe like 8 or 9 interceptions over the last 5 games. So he has not been playing well, but he's also 180 million. And his ass is going to the pine and going to the bench, and they're pulling the opening the door, I guess is a better way of saying, pulling the Band-Aid off, and giving it to the rookie. So they must be seeing something in practice that he's cooking for him to be able to make this decision to put them in this spot, because they could still win their division and get into the playoffs. So what do you think about them pulling the trigger and going with Michael Penix Jr. here?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I thought it was a surprise because I thought that there's still opportunities for them to make the playoffs, a playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough spot for Penix Jr. to be in, right? Like taking the reins. Hopefully, he can just be him, and they can kind of let him be a little free to play. Hopefully, he learned a little bit from Kirk Cousins. I mean, but Kurt, like you said, Kurt really is in a bad rut. One trick pony at the moment. Obviously, he can't run the football. He can't extend the pocket. I also do think, just looking when I do watch them play, I don't think they kind of benefit Kirk Cousins a little bit in the play calling. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's the play calling for Kirk and Kirk's inability to be able to kind of maneuver out the pocket, or able to kind of maneuver out the pocket to get to those other options. And Penix obviously is going to bring that to them. So we know Penix in college had a great arm. He did really well at Washington. led them to a national championship, right?
Yeah. Unbelievable
Right.
game too.
Yep. So we know he's really sharp with the ball, very accurate to football. So maybe it gives him a little bit of a juice. I haven't looked at the schedule for Atlanta. Let me just take a quick look and see what he
Yeah,
got.
I was just doing that myself. So they got the Giants
Okay.
right now, home for home for the Giants at Washington, and then home for Carolina.
I mean, hey, if you're gonna go anywhere, I guess you can start your career off against the bum ass Giants. So
True.
that should be a nice little easy way to see things. The game moves much faster, especially um, mid season. You know what I mean? Mid season football ain't easy.
Yep.
Defense is already kind of ramped up, but you're going to a team that's going to be pretty much tanking. So they're going to do their best not to win. So he'll have some opportunity to look good.
Yep.
Then you're going to have to play against a Washington team that's going to fight you and could bite you, in Carolina that's fighting to the end. So it'd be a big test for Mike. I wish him nothing but luck. And obviously he's the future. I mean, shit. If I'm Kirk Cousins,
What?
180 million. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm Gucci, right? Like I'll go to the
Most
bench.
expensive
Happily.
backup.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm good with that. I'll sit on the bench. You want me to go change the trash cans on my way out? What you want me to do? I'm good. But I ain't got to take no more hits no more. I ain't got, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I'm good. You want me to go ahead and talk to Penix over? Man, listen, 180 million, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Just keep that money rolling. Give me 1 second. I
So
gotta plug my computer in, but I'm listening.
yeah, Tampa has the Cowboys. So Tampa right now in the AFC, I'm sorry, NFC South. Tampa is 8-6. Atlanta is 7-7. Tampa right now has, I just had it up. They have at the Cowboys and home for Carolina and home for the New Orleans Saints. So Tampa gets in if they win out. Obviously, Atlanta needs Tampa to lose. And what's their head to head? Yeah, and they actually beat Tampa twice this year. So they need a loss from Tampa. And right now, sitting in the wild card position, they still could get in the wild card. They're one game behind Seattle. I know Seattle took a huge hit right now with Geno being hurt, so I don't know what that looks like. And then Washington has us. So,
Yeah.
Washington could falter here too as well and lose that 7th seed, and then you have the Falcons, right? Then you play the Falcons. Washington, the Falcons could be for that last wild card position. So it's not going to be easy. There's going to be some interesting storylines and some teams are going to be fighting to the end, which is a good thing. So I think, I don't mind. I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because he's got to perform. He's got to win. You know what I mean? If he doesn't win, then your season's over. So you have to seen something in practice to say all right, buddy, you know what I mean? You're not, you can't get no worse than Cousins. The way Kirk Cousins is playing right now. They need a spark offensively and they need to win games.
Yeah, they need a spark for sure.
So this is the spark. So real interesting. Real interesting. Another spark. Another spark that we need to talk about. I think the boy Dion has started something, man. The homie Mike Vick, Norfolk State Spartans, gets the call. He is now going to be the head coach of was that FCS? FBS, I'm sorry.
FCS.
FCS, I'm sorry. FCS, Norfolk State. It doesn't have obviously any experience, but you got to start somewhere. What do you think about Michael Vick going to Norfolk State and getting the head coaching job? And I heard he's already on the horn trying to get the staff together. I think it's just the beginning. We've seen some of these former players starting to go back to the college ranks. I think Ed Reed had something in Florida that just didn't work out, but he was starting. I know Ray Lewis's name has been, kind of passed along in a lot of openings. We just saw Belichick go back. Now we have the starter Michael Vick, which is looking like hopefully taking the same path as Deion Sanders did, what he did with Jackson State. But what do you think about this hire here, and what do you think his impact is going to be now that we understand what college football is right now?
And yeah, not even that. Eddie George. Don't forget Eddie George is down in the HBCU rankings too. I think he just led his team into the SWAC championship.
Okay, yeah. I think Norfolk State is in what, the MEAC?
Yes, I believe they're still in the MEAC. Listen, I didn't know anything about Michael Vick playing or wanting to coach football, so I don't really have an opinion on it. I mean, obviously, Mike Vick is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Definitely one of the most dynamic quarterbacks that ever touched the grass. I don't know what his coaching experience is. I don't know what he can do at Norfolk State. But it was other talks at Sacramento State. I think Adam Scheffler has said something about that Sacramento State also had opportunity to bring him on. So you got these lower level.
No, Savannah State.
No, I think it's Sacramento. I think
was it Sacramento? I thought it was Savannah.
Sacramento, they had like a $50 million budget. That's how this whole
the 50-hour NIL deals.
Yeah, so I think that was Sacramento State.
Okay.
So it's one of them things where I wish him the best. Right, he's home. Right, he's Norfolk. He's a Virginia kid.
Yeah, for
right
sure.
In his backyard. I'm sure he's a legend there. Everybody knows him, want to be like him. I'm if I'm a kid that needs another opportunity and I'm choosing, especially in HBCU school, why not? Give Norfolk an opportunity. Norfolk's a good school.
Yeah,
great area. So I wish him nothing but the best. We'll see. But now you will have, like you said, Deion Sanders, Eddie George, Michael Vick. Ed Reed had an opportunity that was a little too far stretched. But I think, like you said, I think it'd be more opportunity for young guys or young ex-athletes to kind of come down there and get their coaching careers started. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Shit, Teddy Bridgewater went back to high school, led his team to a state championship.
There's a couple. I think Phillip Rivers has been coaching.
Yeah,
I think high school ball too. There's a couple. Yeah, a lot of them are kind of coaching, and I think college is a little bit different because you're dealing with the money, right? Now, I kind of said this earlier when I was talking to my mom. It's just like they're not student athletes anymore.
Yeah, this is tough.
It's professional athletes now. Like, you're dealing with professional athletes. There is no student athlete in college football anymore. These guys are professional athletes because they're getting paid, right? They're getting paid millions of dollars. People pulling up in, Maybachs and Phantoms as freshmen. You know what I mean? Jules, crazy. Rolex, crazy.
This is a safe space for him, though. Nobody's really expecting much from Norfolk. But you're getting the notoriety to have a legend like that to kind of come down and be the head
and like you said, he's
coach.
back in Virginia.
Yeah, so it's more of a, and if I'm Norfolk State University, this is a great opportunity for us to get a big face in our locker rooms on campus. It's a good publicity opportunity for them. So there's no pressure for Mike Vick to be a conference champion. But what it does do, it helps build, right? It helps build his legacy, like Deion did in Jackson State, who, also Jackson State also won the HBCU Classic Celebration Bowl. Salute to them.
Yeah, they did. I did
that's
see
over the
that.
weekend. So, even though Deion had left 2 years ago,
they're about to become a powerhouse.
They're ready to keep that program going. So hopefully Mike Vick can do the same thing for Norfolk State. Listen, I'm Del State all day, so unfortunately I don't give a shit about Norfolk. If you feel what I'm saying. Those are what I would say back in my day. They were easy games for us. So
yeah, I hear that. All right. So, with people coming in and out, we had a lot of people, and then I don't know what happened. Looked like things kind of dropped off. But if you guys are still watching, you're still out there coming in and out, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. On our way to 4,000 subs, man. We're getting up there, running up the ranks. So, keep supporting us, keep supporting the show. We will keep doing what we're doing each and every week, giving you the best content that we possibly can in the gambling space, whether it be gambling picks, whether it be gambling stories or education. This is what we do. So, got a couple more stories to go, man. We just talked about Mike Vick and, how that could be a special thing right now. But what's not special is what we're seeing out of, let's, kind of bring it back. We're doing a lot of pictures here. College football, man. Transfer portal is horrible.
Fucking
Big
mess.
story had just came out about the Penn State backup quarterback who had to unfortunately put himself he didn't put himself, but he was forced to put himself in a bad position because he was going to transfer, he was kind of keeping on in the wraps. It sounds like Franklin had came out, they know he was going to transfer, but he had to transfer now because of the way the timing of the opening is. I think they get up to an extension of 5 days if your team is in the college playoff. But he couldn't be on the team per the rules and regulations of the transfer portal. So he had to transfer before Penn State goes to the playoff, and this is for other teams as well, not just Penn State. But I think it was the one story that I saw that was, I guess, a big deal because you are out your backup quarterback, right, going into the playoffs. So he entered the transfer portal, and there was a big conversation. I forget his name, was it Bew or Bo or something like that? The backup quarterback in
Yeah.
State.
Yep.
Franklin came out and said, we have a problem. I think me and you even had a discussion about it, man. How do you fix this? Just change the window of when it is, or is this just really just what's the word I'm trying to think? Is this just a bad, I guess, rule, bad regulation, a bad way they have it set up, almost like a loophole, I guess.
It's the whole thing. The whole thing's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And I feel like the NCAA had took a lot of scrutiny, and then what they're doing right now is they're just watching it crumble. They're like, you know what? Y'all don't want us to be a part of this. You scrutinize us for doing this, and we're gonna put our hands away, and we're gonna let y'all figure this shit the fuck out.
Mhm.
And that's how it seems like that's happening, and we're seeing it. It's the wild, wild west. It's not even a transfer portal. You might as well just call it free agency. It's free agency without any binding contracts. There is no commitment for these players. I thought there were limitations to transfers in the transfer portal. There's
Mhm.
not. You have an opportunity now when you added a playoff system. How do you keep the transfer portal schedule the same? You got an extended amount of weeks left in the NCAA season, right? Like, so how do you, like, that's just a travesty in itself that the NCAA has screwed up to open the portal before the playoffs is done. So those teams that are in the playoffs, those players that have the opportunity to transfer are now forced, like the backup quarterback for Penn State is now forced to get into the transfer portal before his season's even done because he's going to lose opportunity with other teams that he can actually play for. So
Yep.
his decision is saying, well, I got to jump in to grasp on these opportunities because if I jump in after my playoffs race, the teams might be small and now I'm back to square one because it's not necessarily even his fault. Is Drew Aller came back, right? Drew Aller said he's coming back.
Yeah.
If Drew Aller wasn't coming back, the backup quarterback is cool. He stays at Penn State. He doesn't worry
Yeah.
about it. But Drew Aller is a grown man too, and he's saying, you know what? We all thought Drew Aller was going in the league. He realized he's not ready. He's going to come back for another year. So once he says he's coming back for another year, now the backup quarterback is like, well, what the fuck? I got to now jump in the portal.
Yeah.
So I don't waste another year. So I get an opportunity to play at another opportunity. So it's just terrible, man. You got Marshall, who lost their whole football team, so they were in the bowl game. Then they just win. I think they just won their conference championship or whatever they just won, and the whole team left. So down they were in a bowl and got replaced by another team. The transfer portal is a mess.
What do you mean the whole team left? Like they all transferred?
Yes, they all jumped in the portal. The coach left, and everybody pretty much. I think it was like 16 players. Then it's 16 starting players jumped in the portal or more.
So they had to replace them in the bowl?
So they replaced the team in the bowl. Yes.
Why? Like how?
Because they didn't have enough players.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yes.
I didn't see that
crazy.
one. That's a crazy story.
Marshall got replaced in their
by
bowl
who?
game.
Who did they replace him by, you know? That's a wild story, yo. Hope all of Marshall got replaced.
Marshall got replaced. And they all
That's
jumped in the
crazy.
transfer portal. I can't think who they got replaced by. They got replaced by a 5 and 6 team. Somebody
That's
that
crazy.
didn't earn a bowl game.
Do you know who they were playing?
Not at the time. I can't remember what bowl it is, but I mean I can look it up.
Yeah.
But these are just the things that's happening. It's only going to get worse until it's some type of system or structure to kind of keep things going. And I think having guys jumping in and out of the portal, um, I'm the integrity of the sport is really getting thrown out the window. I mean, just
Sure.
imagine like how do you build programs right now? Yeah, I know it's like, oh, well, the coach gets to transfer or the coach gets a different job if he gets a different opportunity, and I get that. But we're
Mhm.
talking about hundreds and thousands of athletes bouncing from one school to another school. How do you build a program, right?
Yeah.
Like, what happens to a program if I don't know if my backup quarterback is going to be gone or my back, like, how do you build a program? As a coach, it's impossible to be a coach right now.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
And we
It,
ain't even talk
it,
about
it is
NIL
tough.
money.
Yeah, it's tough. I think I don't know, man. I don't know. I think our next story with Travis Hunter, I think some players might have to do this, but I don't know if there's gonna be players like Travis Hunter, what he did with his NIL money.
Mm.
We're talking about Travis Hunter having a female problem, but I tell you what, he didn't have a money problem and he didn't have a teammate problem, because what Travis Hunter did, not Shador, I forget this one's name.
Shiloh.
No, it wasn't Shiloh. Was it Shiloh?
Or was it Junior? It might have been Deion Jr.
It actually was Junior. Deion Jr. was on a podcast and said that what people didn't know is that Travis Hunter didn't even take all his NIL money. He gave all his NIL money to the collective that paid out 10 to 12 players on Colorado.
Which he
And
shouldn't have said anyway, because he should have shut his mouth and not said that, although it's great. Because you
It's
don't know
great.
you don't know what type of tax opportunity now you gonna have come back with these kids. Like, we don't even know the
Yeah,
influence of the
yeah,
tax situation. Like, that was probably in house. But
yeah.
anyway,
But I
salute to
mean,
Travis.
he said he talked to Travis. Well, you're right. From a financial literacy standpoint, they don't know what those implications are, even though Travis said it was
Hell
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know how that works or anything like that. It might be a good tax write off for Travis, but we don't know what it's going to be, obviously, for those other players and how they got paid for the NIL deal. But I think something like that structured, something like that on these teams to keep these teams together is going to have to happen. That's the only way I think it'll have to happen. Like, some of the top players on their teams are going to have to take ownership because they are getting so much money, where to keep the team together, they're going to have to help fund some of those NILs to keep those players in house.
Nate, is what you said in the beginning of the show before we jumped on, I think right in the pregame. Eventually, we're going to need a salary cap.
Yeah, they're going to need a salary cap.
So, and that's what you're going to need to have happen within college sports to keep the balance. To keep the balance, you need to close down the transfer portal and structure it where maybe you can have one transfer per player, max two if it's a special situation. Because you're going to have to keep the integrity of the game, or it's going to look like this, right? Because the money's going to rule, and they're going to be taking over all the players, and then you're going to have these small opportunities for schools that will not have no opportunity to really compete.
Yeah,
We've already now doubled with a freshman. I'm all about getting your money. Get your goddamn money. They won't give it to you. Get it. But right now we have a freshman coming out of high school, 18-year-old freshman. I don't know, 18, 17, 18-year-old freshman coming out of high school and will be the highest paid player since the NIL deal. That's $12 million. That's insane. Dude ain't take a snap in college football. He's going to make $12 million. That's almost double what the highest player is making right now in college. Shador made what, $6-7 million this year?
something like that.
He's a senior. Travis made $3 million. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. This kid's coming in and ain't do shit, and he's going to make $12 million. Not only is he getting $12 million, but the way that money came in, it came from my man Portnoy from Barstool Sports to add that money
Oh, you talking about that kid?
Yes.
Yeah, where did they get him to go?
He committed to LSU for $10 million.
LSU,
and they ended up getting him to go to Michigan. So now he transferred to Michigan.
Michigan. I was just saying, yeah, okay.
$2 million.
Yeah,
So
they funded it. The alumni, yeah.
So it's a mess, man. So they're going to need to do that to get things down, to get a hold on to this transfer portal, because what guys are doing is saying, "Hey, listen, redshirt me, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a thing. We didn't want to get redshirted, but if you did, you were getting redshirt to stay for the next year for your team, right?
Yeah.
You build, you learn. These dudes like, nah, don't play me. I'm redshirt and I'm out of here. I'm going wherever I'm
Yeah.
going next. Like
I think I said it before, man. These ain't student athletes no more. They're
they're
professional
professional.
athletes.
So if you're going to have that, you need to put in some structures, and that's a salary cap. That's a transfer portal structure, so you can keep the
Yeah.
balance of equality across the board for all
Yeah.
these things. And I know you just jumped on Travis for a second, man. I want to say one thing for sure. Congratulations, Travis Hunter. If you watched this show early on this year, we talked about Heisman Trophy winners. It was a big opportunity for y'all to jump on. When we jumped on, I jumped on, made some money off of Travis Hunter winning the Heisman Trophy winner. It was in the plus money category. We
Yes, sir.
cashed in on that. But I would say it was even better than that was watching and listening to that man speak. I was very proud to see Travis Hunter take the reins when he jumped on the mic. Didn't have no cue cards, didn't have a letter out of his hand to read. He looked at the camera, looked at everybody that he was talking to, had something to say specifically about that person with gratitude, with thanks, uh,
Mhm.
even up to the rafters where his grandmother was, his brother and his brothers was able to just talk to each one of them. Then came back and looked at the camera and had me almost have a tear in my eye when he was talking to his dad that was at home watching television, as he looked dead in that camera. And I was like, Travis this is a good young man. You know what I'm saying? Wholesome young man, a good kid, don't get no trouble, don't ain't out here partying, don't drink. Like he just about his business. And
Man. But
yeah,
then
you
these
can hit that.
hoes,
I'm gonna throw you another oop to kind
yeah,
of finish
these
that next story.
hoes, these hoes be out here, man.
So before we
Oh
start
man.
killing Travis, I wanted to put that out there because
Oh
he's a
man.
good dude.
Is a good guy, but it's really interesting because when I was looking for pictures and stuff for the thumbnail, I put in Travis Hunter. You know what the second option was?
His
Travis
girl.
Hunter girlfriend. That
His
was the
fiance.
second option.
His fiance.
I'm sorry, his fiance, but it said Travis Hunter's girlfriend. Let's look at one of the not issues, but one of the incidents that has the internet and everybody up in roar about this woman who has got Travis sprung. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why he sprung in a second. But let's look at this little snippet that Travis was taking pictures with some fans and see how she reacted.
All right.
I'm just hear them where
You go to the hotel, you go walk around. Five o'clock, everything starts. 4:30.
We didn't find Matt. I called him twice.
Where's that coming from?
What's that?
That's Trav, we're going to take one as a group, and that's it.
All right, so pretty much Travis Hunter is sitting there taking pictures with fans and
He's
his
working.
fiance.
Nate, he's working.
Oh, he's working.
He's working. The man is working.
His fiance is sitting there saying, I'm not just going to sit here all day. Like, what I'm going to do? You know what I mean? And not even that, when you said how eloquently he spoke when he won the Heisman, Dion had to tell her to get up when everybody else was standing, clapping and happy. And Dion did it in a nice smile way. He was hugging everybody and he told her to get up, right? Then we've seen videos of her coming out and defending herself and her stance and how he used to drive her around and he would go to parties and he's outside while she's in there shaking her ass, you know, doing whatever. And he's outside waiting for her to come out for hours. And not even that, she then came out and said, I didn't even like him at first. He's not my type of guy. And you want to know why he's wifed her so quickly? You want to know why he's got that rock on her hand? Because he ain't never had a bad bitch. That's what happens.
Yep.
When you ain't never had a bad bitch in your life, you don't know what to do when you have one and you don't want to lose her. And that's where Travis Hunter is right now. Unfortunately, let's keep it a beam. Travis Henry is not the best looking man walking, but he's going to pull in those high level women that look for guys like him. And they're going to sink in their claws and dig in. And hopefully, what their key is, because Dion had, who did he have? Brittany, right? He had Brittany come on to Colorado and tell them the game of how these chicks be out here.
Yep.
They be looking for you. They say, oh, your check, your check, your check. I'm going to pop this baby out. Oh, that's $500,000. You know what I mean? And it just shit add up. And unfortunately, he does have a female problem because it's clearly you can see he is way more into her than she is into him. And he's just the meal ticket. He's just the ride. So try your best to put yourself in Travis Hunter's shoes. You got everybody in the world and you got everybody on the internet talking shit about your fiance, about what she is and what she isn't. And as humble as you are as Travis Hunter, you have to have a sense and know that I can grab another one if I wanted one. Might not be her, but I know I could probably grab something too of where I'm going in my life, right? In these circles. Yeah. How do you get this leech off you?
That's tough. Like I said, I don't listen. He loves that girl. He said it multiple times.
He does.
My advice to Travis, it's more actually to his fiance. I don't know her name. She just has some work to do. And that work is to understand that your man, your fiance is the prize. And I think you've got it mixed up where you think you're the prize, which in his eyes you are. But that means that you got to still be on his schedule if you're going to be around, right? Most times you don't see a lot of athletes as wives, right? They're usually doing their own thing and they're in the back scene. Travis has put you on. You're on these podcasts. You're on these.
He was in the commercial.
He put you on a. That doesn't happen. So he
took the picture of the Heisman with her.
He values her. And I think that's the problem with her. She hasn't realized that this ain't 5 years ago when we first met where he's still chasing. You got to now change that because he is a 1 in a million type of athlete that's a unicorn as a football player. And the spot is on him. And when you're around and you have a stank face on your face, or you're having a debate with him back and forth in front of cameras, or you're having an emotional issue because you're feeling the way you feel and you know this spotlight, like that's not okay. Y'all, we should not be knowing these things. Anytime you show up in these cameras, it should be a pretty face and a smile and gratitude.
She don't give off the energy like she really she don't give off that energy.
But these young kids are a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? She out here still on the news. Like we said, we shouldn't know that he was dropping you off at a party and waiting outside for an hour while you out there shaking your ass. And that's like, what we talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She talking about you know, you love tequila, you a drinker, and he don't do that stuff. So you're showing us what kind of personality you have by the information that we're getting, and it just doesn't seem to match Travis. So I would pray and hope that they can kind of find a balance. But if I'm the old head looking at my youngin and Travis is saying, I'll be looking at him like, yo.
I think Dion tried.
I'm sure, but he loves his girl. Tried. And then I feel like it's a tough situation for Travis because it's like, damn, I'm getting all this pressure from the outside and everybody outside. I got to now double down on defending my lady. And he's supposed to, right? He's supposed to. And so that makes it even more difficult for him to actually really take a second and look back and see all these clippings that we're seeing and saying, damn, that's not a bad look. And maybe they can sit down together and say, let's take a look at this. Let's analyze the tape and say that this is not okay. I can't be out here cheesing and taking pictures, doing my job with my picture in the background, with the Heisman trophies in the background, and me working. And I got to talk to you on the sideline about where you got to go and what time you got to be there. Enjoy what you're seeing, because that's nothing but money over there. That's your livelihood.
You about to go on the ride.
Nothing for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
But sit down and watch your husband work.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I mean, that's how
The
these.
one that got me was the last game of his career was the very last game he just. Well, I don't know. He's gonna play the bowl game, but the last game he just played, and he came in ready. He was all excited, came to hug her, and she was pulling away from him because she had an attitude. Like it's like, damn, like my man just
It's
had a
the
crazy
energy.
game. It's the
No,
energy.
it's the energy, and she already said it. She's like, he's not my type of guy. Like
That's
yeah, it's and like when you come out and say it, and I'm not saying that a person like Travis can't get a girl like her. I mean, she's cute and all. She ain't like super
no,
bad.
she ain't. She ain't.
Yeah, like she's not like
She's cute.
super bad or anything like that. But
Oh, but they coming around the corner though. Travis, they are out there around the
oh
corner.
yeah, they lined up.
Oh,
Yeah, for
she's
sure.
gonna be real upset in a few.
Yeah, she's gonna be real upset for sure.
Because they're gonna come knocking.
Because because somebody is going to like him for what he is.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And her
They gonna
meal
come around that
ticket
fishing
now is she needs to get herself into those parties where those other athletes are so she can navigate. I think that's where she's going. But I mean, I think you can tell about their energy, and you can tell where the energy is really one sided. It's not even close. And like again, not saying that he can't grab a woman like him, even if he wasn't, this unicorn of a star of an athlete. Now, would it have been harder? More than likely. Would he have been doing the same things? More than likely. But I'm not saying that he couldn't be able to grab that. It's just that I think this is what you see when you never had something as maybe you feel as good as you've ever had before, and now you don't want to let that go. You want to hold that on forever because you're afraid that if you do let it go, you might not get something that looks, physically as attractive, to you as she might. So, I mean, he play offense and defense, bro. So he gonna need it.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see.
like I said, I hope she does better. I hope she gets better. She got a lot of tape to review, so she can get better.
Yeah,
So
for
if she's not
sure.
going to change, then that should be the telltale sign for Travis to say, "Hey, if
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to change or adjust to this, then
yeah.
you may not be right."
I let that thing go, bro. As you know, what I mean, you got to keep that thing moving. Go enjoy your life, man.
I mean,
You're a young bull.
imagine you got a meal ticket and you out here fucking that shit up potentially. Like that's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It is crazy to me. You know what else is crazy, bro? The Detroit Lions. You see how I did that? The Lions, because they lied to y'all ass about them going to the Super Bowl. Why? Because they are. I don't think I've ever seen a team with so many IRs in my
that's
life.
crazy. That's crazy.
Like, so I took a screenshot here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, still counting, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 guys on this depth chart. I wish I could zoom in. I can't. That are on IR at the moment. And does this have, and this is not even the updated one because Montgomery is on IR right now. So they have more players on IR right now than actually this screenshot actually has. Yo, man, I don't think they're going to have to find a way of how to make it all work. They just lost. Who did they lose to? Buffalo. They just got they just got smoked by Buffalo last week, and in that game, they lost some. They lost some players. So, I mean, man, you're Dan Campbell, man. You're looking at this team. It's holding up by duct tape, band-aids, some string. I mean, what do you do with this roster? Obviously, you got to keep it moving forward, but
Yeah.
don't look good in Detroit, bro.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They were looking good. I mean, obviously, this will slow them down a little bit. There's not much you can say. I mean, you can't control the injury bug. They had 4 major injuries last week in that Buffalo game. I
Yeah,
think
it was
3 of them, or was it 3
Montgomery.
of the 4 went on IR.
Yeah, it was.
Montgomery, I think Maven. They got another. Was it O lineman or D lineman that
I
went
think
down?
it was a D lineman and I think a corner.
Yeah, so they are in some trouble. Next man up mentality. If I'm Dan Campbell, that's all you can do Maybe you can get some free agencies off the wire that can kind of make an imprint right away. I don't know of any running backs that can kind of take the place or be almost complementary to David Montgomery. I mean, Craig Reynolds and Jamar Gibbs are kind of similar players. Do I want Jamar Gibbs? Can he take that whole full load by himself like that? So it's interesting. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a team that's hurt.
What that does do is open the door for our Philadelphia Eagles. I'll tell you that. That's an opportunity for us, and hopefully we can kind of take advantage of that. So
yeah, I was looking at the odds right now. I still think Detroit is favored to be the number 1 seed. Eagles are second at -250, and you got a dark horse, and people keep forgetting about those Minnesota Vikings. I think they were plus 600. They were 6-1 to make it. You're a betting man. Who you betting on there
for the number 1 seed?
The number 1 seed in the NFL. I mean, sorry, in the NFC.
The number 1 seed with the injuries to Detroit right now. Can they finish out the season?
I think they have a tough game against. They have the Vikings at week 18.
Yes, and they can beat them because they could beat them with them full health. So I like the Vikings there. We're ending the season with the Commanders, Cowboys, and Giants. So I would say the Philadelphia Eagles should probably be the number 1 seed. I think we finished out the year with 3 wins.
I'm sorry. So here's the updated. It must have changed. Detroit's still favorite, -105. The Eagles are plus 170, and the Vikings are plus 380. Are the updated odds? Let me actually bring it up. I'm acting like I can't even bring it up. Show the people. Show the people what we're looking at here. Go and jump on the handy dandy sports book real quick. Sometimes there's some value here. I think with some late bet when you have the information that you need to kind of get a sense here. I mean, I know some of the folks want, that big win, right? That plus 2,200 or something like that. But sometimes you can find some gems still.
I think the Eagles are the favorite to win the NFC East. I mean, to win the NFC.
Yeah, the Eagles, I think, are plus 250. Sorry, I guess it made me go back into the sports book. We'll just bring it up real quick. Even with some of the future bets, right? Did you see my guy? My guy, Quinyon Mitchell. He is now the favorite to win defensive rookie of the year.
As he should.
Defensive rookie. If he finished the year without giving up a touchdown, I think he gets it. I don't think the picks matter. The Bull Fisk is drowning out Verse because Fisk has like 3 or 4 more sacks than Verse.
Verse is
Jared Verse from
Jared Verse is second, and Mitchell's number 1 right now.
Yeah, Mitchell's number 1. Let's see. So NFC Championship. I think these odds are a little bit better at other places. Right now,
Mitchell in right now. I'm putting that bet in right as we speak. What should I do? 2 units, 3 units? What you think?
What's your number you got?
110.
Plus 110. Plus 110? Shit. You might as well take that money and it's plus 180 here. That's a bad line.
Well, Jared Verse is favored here.
Yeah, Jared Verse is favored here, but everywhere else he's not favored anymore. This is why I like. There's certain
so they're behind, right? Yeah,
they're behind. Yeah, they're behind. Certain sports books are behind. You know what I mean? But yeah, plus 180. Shit, almost 2-1. Especially if he puts the clamps on McLaren, Scary Terry, again, and Terry doesn't score because he's been on a tear.
Yeah,
if he puts that's game over at that point, because then you only got the Giants. I mean, Napier's there, but I'm not really worried about him because you don't got nobody throwing him the ball. But and then with Dallas, it's just Lamb, and Lamb's in the slot. So this to me, this is the rookie defensive rookie of he can lock this up with another dominant performance. I like the plus 110, but I like the plus 180 more.
It is there. And Jaden Daniels the favorite for rookie of the year offensively.
As he should be. I mean, I think Bo Nix has a shot there. If Washington falters, like I think that Bo Nix bet is not a bad bet, because if Washington falters at the end here, if they lose 2 out of the last 3 and Denver wins out, I mean, it's hard not to give Denver. That was a complete turnaround from last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A complete turnaround, and Bo is the reason why. So, I think that would be a good bet. I think I lost my MVP bet with Saquon. I used to. I thought he had a shot if he broke the record, but I mean, Josh Allen, bro, he's got 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards of total offense in the last 2 games. That's just, you just can't compete with that. That's just.
And then what about the defensive player of the year? Is it still T.J. Watt with the foot injury now?
Yeah, that's interesting because he got hurt, and when I saw that, I thought that was really interesting. I think Surtain has had an amazing year quietly. True lockdown corner. We haven't seen one in a long time. But this guy from Denver, he just Nick Bonito. He had a pick 6 last game.
Yeah,
he's 3rd in sacks. I would actually go here. I didn't even really know much about him, but you can't deny the production. If he ends the league leading sacks, and TJ kind of is falter at the end because he can't play, it's worth the value here at 7-1 this late in the game. It's a dark horse, but Pat Surtain probably will win it though. I think his numbers this year are like Revis type numbers. Like, it's just silly. Just silly.
Where's the Josh Allen line at?
That's like 91,000.
You think that's for sure?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if Saquon's got to break the record for him to be even in the conversation, and it's crazy to say that because when you think about it, what more can a running back do at that point?
Yeah,
like he just broke the rushing record, and he's not even going to be favored. Like, if he broke the rushing record and he was close in that last game, I still don't think he'll be favored to win it. And it might be the first time in a long time. Didn't they do that years ago? They did co-MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
So that would probably be more likely the scenario. But, I mean, Lamar's putting together fantastic 2 games, too. I think he's got like 8 or 9 touchdowns in the last 2 games. I know he had 5 last one. Mm-hmm. So, he's got to if he shows out against Pittsburgh, and Allen just doesn't have what we expect from Josh Allen's a Josh Allen game, and Jackson goes off against Pittsburgh. Lamar's numbers, I know they did that stat comparison between Allen and Hurts. Now it's really Allen and Lamar. Like, Lamar has like 34 touchdowns and like 3 picks. Yeah, and he still has like 800 yards rushing. He's
definitely balling.
Yeah, he's balling. It's just, I said this in the chat, man. I don't want to fanboy too much, but I mean, it's like Josh Allen, I think, is that next evolution. 6'6", 240, 250, rocket arm, can run 4.5, can run people over, can make every throw that he wants on the field. It's just, just special talent. You know what I mean? When you see it.
Yeah.
And when I watched it live, I was like, all right, I'm a believer. That was, and that Philadelphia game last year in OT with him, like, I've never seen anybody like run through our defense like that. That was crazy. You know what I mean? Shrug it off, looked at the crowd, shrugged it off even more. Like, he's a football player. He's a fucking football player. All right. I think we are through all our football conversation. I think we're switching sports now. And this weekend, I mean, I got a little baby here, man, so I don't know if I can do something. Big fight this weekend, though. Tyson Fury and Usyk going for round 2. First one, Usyk beat Fury. His first loss on his career. I think he's like, I forget what he is, like 44-1 or something like that. Supposedly it's supposed to be the redemption art. A lot of stuff looked good in heavyweight boxing with Joshua, Du Bois, I think was there. I'm trying to think. I thought there was a third one because Wilder's been out of the picture for a while at this point. But really, I think Joshua was really kind of on a flame, and then he lost. Brandon Du Bois and law. I was like, oh my God. But Du Bois beat Usyk, got cheated out of it. And I think that was in Poland, if I'm not mistaken. That fight, I actually watched that fight. But I mean, this fight is coming up and there's really no buzz, right? There's nobody really talking about it. I mean, this is a big heavyweight fight.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's a huge heavyweight fight. Fury's going to go down as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And if Usyk beats him, when he was beating him in his prime pretty much, or maybe Fury's coming down a little bit off his prime, Usyk will etch his name in those books as well, because he's been able to beat and run through everybody too. And I think he started as a light heavyweight, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Interested in this fight, man. Like, I think I feel like I should be interested in this fight. I want to see it, but if it's $100, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I like Usyk. I think Usyk just has his number. I think he's just solid all around as far as
No, he can box.
He can box, and I think that's
he can box.
Have an issue. Like, there's no quitting Usyk. He's going to continue to come. It's not like fighting the Bronx Bomber where he's a one-trick pony. Like, this guy can box you, and I think that's
he was just named the most overrated heavyweight too.
Oh my gosh! Matter of fact, let me see what this line.
I thought it was so bad. I could bring up the line. I didn't even think about that. Good call. Let me bring up the line on the book.
Usyk. I'm saying at minus 150.
That's pretty close. Man.
Well, yeah, because they probably want a trilogy, right? Like, you got to kind of think the trilogy.
Yeah, you want the story for sure,
right? So do you?
He didn't knock him. He just beat him. He didn't knock him out last one, right?
No, he knocked him down though.
I know he did knock him down. Damn, that shit is at 1 p.m. All right, let's bring up the book and let's look at some bets for Fury Usyk and see if we see anything that makes sense. I do bet boxing a little bit. It's been a while since it's been a good fight to bet. I mean, I know everybody lost money on that Tyson fight. I didn't bet that shit. I wasn't betting that shit, but a lot of people did. Like my man said here, Usyk is favorite. Well, I'm sorry, Usyk is favorite minus 134. Tyson with a little bit of a value there at plus 108. Got total rounds set at 10.5. Minus 195, unders plus 134 to go to distance is usually a good one to talk about. Minus 155. Usyk, these are a little bit short, I think. Has Usyk ever been knocked down? I don't. Yeah, he has. So the thing with Usyk is that he's got a really weak midsection. That's where you can beat Usyk at. He doesn't have, and that's how the boys knocked him down. They called it a.
Yeah, but the problem is that Tyson Fury's too tall to really work the body.
Well, he's gonna have to figure it out for this one. I mean, you're gonna have to figure this joint out for this one for sure. I'm trying to think if Usyk has ever. I remember the boys fight. He got knocked down, and they called it a low blow. And they literally gave him like 5 minutes to get his shit right. But I didn't think that was the right call. I mean, the bet to me is probably to go to distance or the over.
Yeah, I like to go to distance.
Yeah, to go over.
But I would have to look at the see what they look like as far as body wise. See what Tyson looks like. I have to see the weigh-ins.
But Tyson's always look a little. He's always been soft.
Yeah, but I mean that'd be my eye before I see how they look to go to distance. That would be my only thing. Like, I don't, is he ready? Is he ready to fight, or is he?
I wonder who else is
back on that shit. You know what I mean?
I wonder who else is on that card. I mean, I know Du Bois will be in the building because if Usyk wins, he's going to call for them to fight again. Because he felt like he beat him the first time. I don't really like Du Bois. I don't think he's a really good fighter, but the fact that he beat Joshua was just silly. Because the setup was for Joshua to get this fight, and they were going to get the mega fight with Joshua, whoever
That's
won.
what it was supposed to be. Yep.
That's what it was supposed to be. But just didn't work out. But yeah, I think this is the bet. But the line is just, I don't know. I'm not betting. I'm not laying 2-1. But that's more likely to bet. They'll probably, you won't see no really big shots until late rounds, in my opinion. Try to wear Usyk down, work the body, keep outside, keep the jab. You know what I mean? And I think that's for Tyson and Usyk. I think just boxing. You beat him before by just boxing him. Sooner or later, you'll catch him. He'll make a mistake.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, I think it's an interesting fight. Another interesting fight that just got talked about. Man.
This dude.
I mean, talk about a money grab that he needs. Connor just said rumors of the bout with Tapio are false. He's already in agreements with the Bani family to face Logan Paul in a boxing exhibit in India. I've agreed, and I will seek my return to the octagon. So, if you haven't heard, Connor was obviously in some legal issues, and it came out he was cheating on his wife, which isn't surprising. And the woman had called rape, but it was obviously came out that it was consensual. Connor saying it's consensual. And all his endorsement deals have now left the building. All of them. So now he needs one of the Paul boys to step up and fight, and he actually chose Logan over Jake, which is probably a better matchup, I guess, for him. Even though last time we saw Logan Paul in a boxing match was against Mayweather, which is kind of interesting, right? Logan Paul is going to step away from here and say, I boxed Mayweather and Connor McGregor, while doing backflips at WrestleMania. Just insane for him living a wild life right now and then building a multi-billion-dollar company in Prime Juices. So really crazy what the Paul boys are doing. But Connor honestly needs them in this one. You would think that Connor would be the A side, but he's not. I think Logan's the A side. In terms of the money, he needs the production. He needs a quick money grab because he just lost it all. And I mean, I don't know if you ever seen that Lamborghini yacht he has. Shit is fucking insane. And the money he's spending he's spending money crazy. So he's gonna have to fight. And they'll probably make a quick, anywhere from 25 to, probably I want to say 30 to 40 million. I think what was the split for Tyson? Tyson got 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would think Connor would be in that same ballpark, maybe a little bit more, 25, 30, as they pump this up for this fight. What do you think about this, man? Quick, just a money grab as you see, or do you think this will actually be like a entertaining fight?
I mean,
I'm betting Logan. I'll tell you that. I'm not betting Connor.
Yeah, I mean, we seen Connor in a boxing match with Mayweather, right? Like,
yeah, ain't gonna work.
He's not a boxer.
Line up.
I know it's been a couple of years since his leg injury. I mean, I guess he'd be in good shape. I don't know if he can box. That's the question underneath boxing rules. I don't know. I'm not really interested in it. I won't be entertaining that unless it somehow is free and I can just.
That shit ain't gonna be free. Oh, right. You mean it could be free on? They could run it back to Netflix. They can run it back to Netflix. I don't see why they wouldn't. It'll just be like
the way Netflix was bouncing around in Dallas or wherever they were. Now they gotta be in India. Shit, we'd be buffering for days fucking around with that.
I was about to say it'll be like at least it'll still be like at like 3:00 though. So
yeah, I'm good. I won't be watching it.
You won't be watching it.
What time would it be airing here?
I have no idea. I think they're like 16, 15 or whatever hours ahead of us. So
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I would probably see it. I would probably watch it. Connor, it's funny in that in the Connor versus Mayweather fight. He didn't hurt Mayweather, but he caught Mayweather. I think his timing and his precision with his hands. He's always, had great hands, and he's a lefty. So, those lefties are crafty.
I'm just amazed what these Paul brothers are able to do.
Bro, they don't get enough credit.
Yeah, I don't, they just
Like,
take it by storm. They're popular for some reason.
People hate on them, bro. I don't get it. Like I don't get why you hate on people and what they're building and their success. They build it from nothing, doing YouTube shit.
But that's what's making them money, though. So they love to hate because everybody's waiting to see them lose, and that's what's
everybody want to see them lose.
So they're playing that villain card a little bit, the arrogant card
to perfection.
So salute to them. Like I said, I don't know. I feel like we grew up in the best era. I feel like we were just late to the era of opportunity with money because these kids have so many opportunities to do a lot of different things, to make a lot of different opportunities.
We had nobody to tell. We all thought it was sports and entertainment, and we didn't think outside the box with that shit. And that was a problem, and how to monetize things. We took what we saw on TV and it's like, oh, we need to replicate that instead of all this other shit.
A lot of outlets either, though. Like it was like these kids have so many outlets now to express themselves. Where there's these streaming networks. That wasn't going on with us. We were already established in our careers or getting into our careers of the working person, and these kids are just able to kind of just jump on YouTube because they're bored and they just make something out of it. And next thing you know,
social media hit when we were in college. So because I remember
that was with Facebook. But that wasn't like that was no streaming opportunities like YouTube.
No. It wasn't, but I remember people talking about like, yo, this joint's gonna be huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Get on it, get as many friends as you can, and if you were smart enough to understand what Facebook was going to do, you were keen to understand what all the other stuff was going to do. But I wasn't keen to understand none of that. Be stupid and be funny. It wasn't like even about money, and then they found out they can make money, and that's when the shit took off. You know what I mean? So
there was one group of kids that did that, young people that was on MTV. What was that, Badass or Bad?
Jackass.
Jackass. Like they were the original folks of just doing whatever. Yeah. But they needed an MTV contract to be able to do the things and be able to kind of show videos, and they went crazy. So now kids can do it by themselves and just be on YouTube and be YouTube stars and be monetized for 1,000 views. And look at Kai Cenat, man. Like, brilliant kid. You know what I mean? Those 30-day or those mafia joints he be doing. They said he's making like close to 500,000 during those time frame, like over 500,000 a day.
What is it?
His continuous stream. He was doing like 30-day continuous stream. He called it something mafia, where he would just stream for 30 straight days.
That's crazy.
And between the advertisements, between the viewership all day long, the special guests he had on there, he was pulling in close to, from what they were saying, close to 500K a day.
Crazy. And then he found himself some leeches himself. Remember that video of him, like people just throwing sneakers and shit up here, and he don't even know what he's paying for.
But he's there. He sees it. But just think about it. Before the pandemic, dude said he had $5 to his name.
Yeah. Started from the mud.
Right.
Man? Yeah. So, oh man, we went through a lot of stories, a lot of stuff, a lot of good laughs, a lot of good conversation. We will be back tomorrow for just the college football playoffs. I think we're all both in the same boat that nobody's betting any of these bowl games with the transfers, portals, and things that we're unsure about. Be interesting to talk about that Colorado game because Shador and Hunter are playing. So I wonder if that changes the mind on the BYU side of any of those guys who play, because BYU had a decent year. So I look for some value and some stuff like that, but we're definitely talking about the college football, obviously, playoffs round one, and any NFL games that we have, man. So I want to thank people who jumped back on here. Went a little bit longer on the stream, but You know, it is what it is. For myself, I'm Moss Money. That's Be Humble. We will see you tomorrow for some money pot betting action. Have a good night, everybody.